Hi, I'm Lauren, the senior editor at Jezebel, and I'm here with Marisa Davila, one of the leads of the upcoming Paramount series Grease: Rise of the Pink Ladies. Welcome, Marisa.
Thank you.
So, Rise of the Pink Ladies is the prequel to Grease, and it takes place 4 years before the movie.
Yes.
So you play Jane. What can you tell us about this character?
So Jane is an overachiever, glass half full, ambitious, bright-eyed girl who has a lot of goals and in life and is trying to get into all the clubs in school. She wants to design the pep rally. She's kind of not a control freak, but she likes to do things. She's very good. And she finds herself with just the heartthrob of the school over the summer, and she realizes, she's like, I know how this works. You and I don't belong together. I'm gonna make it really easy for you, and pay attention to the social standing in the classes. And he's like, no, I actually think this could work. So she's very excited, thinking that this year's gonna be very different. And she finds that it's much harder to navigate than she thought. And she just runs into a lot of trouble, rumors, and it feels very alone. As the first pilot goes on, she meets who we later realize are other Pinks who are also going through their own hardships, and they decide to come together to face their problems.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Women rising up.
Women rising up. Listen, we're powerful. I can't mess with us.
Are you into astrology at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Does Jane have a astrological sign?
Every character has an astrological sign because our creator is very much into astrology. Which is,
I love that.
It's caused me to really get deeper into getting to know my sign and blah, blah, blah. But Jane is a Libra.
Okay. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, right, exactly. And when I was reading about it, I was like, yeah, totally in line. And she's all about fairness and keeping balance.
Justice.
Yes, and people pleasing and all of that stuff. So it definitely did help me with trying to create the character.
I was gonna guess she was either a Libra or a Capricorn.
Oh,
but Libra
no, that's right on the money.
Sense. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so do you have a memory growing up from watching Grease for the first time, or just, it's obviously such a beloved movie, any memory around it?
I know. I was just saying the other day that I don't remember the first time I've seen it. It's just always been there
in the world.
And I think that's the case for a lot of people, because I showed a friend of mine recently the movie who had never seen it. And
never seen it?
I know. They're very lucky I did not just own them as a friend. But I got the pleasure of showing it to them for the first time. And we're watching it, and he was like, wait, I know this song. This is from this movie. It's just something that people know. And so I think I must have watched it when I shouldn't have at a very young age.
I remember, I probably saw it for the first time when I was 5. Yeah. And I did not understand the Rizzo storyline at all.
Totally. A lot of them. Yeah.
And I remember asking my mom, and she was just like, isn't the music fun?
And that's the thing too.
Totally glossed over it.
That's kind of that hangs with you. Is the numbers and the colorfulness of the world and the nostalgia of that era, and
which I feel like this series also completely nailed. It's big and fun and so exciting, but it's also very it does feel modern, even though you're in the 1950s.
Right.
And then obviously the original movie dealt with a lot of social issues like teen pregnancy and peer pressure. How would you say this series deals with, things like sexual exploration and rebellion and...
Yes, we cover all of that and then some. And we go even deeper. Okay. And we're even more blunt than they were.
Oh, okay.
Very much just speaking the truth in your face. Okay. And I think a lot of that comes from the fact that this is from the voice of teenagers who don't really have a filter or hold back, and most of the time we don't give credit enough to the younger generation to be a little bit more aware of things, and to be more caught up in what the world is going through, and might have a cleaner lens of this is not okay. And whatever, we're just gonna sit on our asses and not do anything about it.
The younger generation is definitely like, hey everyone, like this is all messed up. Like,
right, they're like always the voice of reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like because of their age, they're just not really listened to, which is most of the time what our characters are going through too. So, and because of that, it's like, oh, you're not going to listen to us when we talk? Well, maybe we can sing about it. And then get stuck in your head, and then maybe it'll sink in, you know?
And this, I mean, this series is 30 original songs?
30 original songs.
I mean, that's crazy.
I know. I know.
Do you have a favorite? Is that an impossible question?
Oh, it is truly an impossible question.
Okay.
I say that my favorite changes every day because I can't pick one. We just had our new cool music video drop yesterday, and it's just iconic. That's our most like Grease Lightning-esque song.
Okay.
And I think we really took it and just completely made it our own. And I am so blown away by Ari's performance, and I'm just the biggest fan. So that today is my favorite.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. Similar to the original movie, is there, like, are there parallels in this series? Like, is there a Rizzo pregnancy storyline? Is there like a Frenchie dropout storyline? Or is everything really like modernized?
I think it's more just everything, the characters are going through their own thing. Somebody was asking me the other day, it was like, so is your character like this character from the Grease? I'm like, that's not really what we're trying to do. There's like a big separation between, like, we would never try to replicate in that way or fill those shoes because it's impossible, and it's just we're not meant to do that. And we're talking about the founders of the Pink Ladies and like what they went through to get to where they are. And so there's a lot of, you know, similar themes because what we went through growing up and what our parents went through growing up and what their parents went through growing up is like not that different from each other. So we touched on a lot of hard subjects, but
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.